This is a logo. I hate the intro, but this is a logo.
You enjoy seeing someone with a fashion sense of a pigeon, you've came to the right place. But I don't mean Richarlison, I'm not that shit. Unlike he's been at Spears. But yo, I don't know why I waved. Welcome to the show that you should probably click off because it's way too long and boring. I presume that's what most people think. But yeah, I blabber on about music for really long, so if you don't want to watch that, then here's your opportunity to leave. Go! Alright, we're down to one person. Oh, he's gone as well. Oh well, I'll do it anyway. But yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, quick thing. I didn't listen to the Sufjan one. It was a soundtrack album with some buy thing apparently. But yeah, I did listen to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 projects. I know I only showed 4, but you know, that's where life takes you. I'll introduce them then. But yeah, starting off with probably to very few people's surprise, Fabio Foreign's Without Warning. 21 Savage's version is 10 times better. And what the hell was that anyway? The Ye unfinished freestyle verse thing sounds better than most of the other verses on the entire album. 2 good beats on pretty much the whole album, and that's being nice. The other 6 are some of the most boring draw beats I've heard in my life, and the mixing on one of the good beats was shit. So, yeah, don't bother searching for this on SoundCloud. Hopefully it just stays there, because this is awful. It's not worth your time. 1.1 out of 10. Next up is 2C's Naujor or something like that. I don't fucking know. Naujour. I'm on the stage right now, singing your favourite song. That's on the album 3 times. There's literally 2 remixes of that song featuring Khaled and Future. Terrible album, terrible production, terrible vocals, and favourite song, which is literally the worst song of the album. That also has 3 remixes, perfectly encapsulates all of that. Features for the most part were, to be honest, decent. And some, like 2 or 3 of the songs, are actually pretty decent. But the others just had awful beats, awful mixing, awful vocals, and that kind of like made the positives not really matter that much. But yeah, terrible album with about 3 really good songs is the best way I can summarise it, but still 1.9 out of 10. Next up is Moneybagg Yo's Hard to Love, which is a very hard to love in terms of album. Funny, comedy, humour and shit. Which, yeah. I only finished listening to this as I was writing this review about like 3 hours. So I'll reword that because that sounds like shit. The gap between me finishing that album and writing the review was only about a few hours, and I'd forgotten every single word and sound on the album. It's not bad by any means, but it's just so goddamn forgettable and so just uninteresting and so just not worth your time. But yeah, all I know is that it just wasn't very good. Otherwise, yeah, I would have remembered it. 3.9 out of 10. Next up, this is I think the first one that I didn't mention. Originally, Babytron, who literally just dropped on a random Tuesday with 6, which had some good beats, but they weren't enough, as they were mixed with some boring ones and Babytron's terrible, safe rapping style. I heard 3 flows the whole album, that's being nice. I know it's like a sort of Brooklyn flow and all, but even though I didn't listen to it, from what I've heard from Bin Reaper 3, New Testament from January, it actually shows some variation in terms of flow and some creativity. So I don't know why I just made another ball. I don't care. Having one flow is bad, no matter whether it's your style. Obviously, there were some great songs. You Bob Thorne sort of beat switch, speed up thing was really good. 100 bars, having 100 bars and like counting up was pretty good. And there were the odd other banger here and there and the odd brilliant beats. But like there were also some massive duds such as... let me give you an example of say Mush Mush or Miguel Cabrera. They're terrible. They're duds and not very good. And they bring the album down. But yeah. A bit of a bore. Had some good tracks, but had a lot of trash. A lot more trash than good. Let's just keep saying that way. 4.4 out of 10. Next up is that Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream, which I'm pretty sure was advertising metal, but had that weird ass fucking Daft Punk sounding auto-tune ass terrible song thing, and it was is awful. I'd mind the experimentation. There were some bearable songs. There was the odd one that kind of worked, but like none of them worked that well, to be honest. But there was just the odd one that just sucked, such as Ordinary, the Daft Punk style one, and that bloody birthday song one, or something like that. Beautiful Morning, even. Why was it like a birthday song? Beautiful Morning, it's called. They were absolutely awful. And yeah, goofy album, encapsulated by the auto-tune vocals in some songs. And yeah, it just wasn't very good. But considering I was looking forward to listening to it. But you know, we move. Hopefully they go back to the normal sound, which is pretty fire. 5.1 out of 10. Don't know what the hell was going on there. Next up is Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds with Council Skies. That musically pretty much had nothing going on. It was just a fine, run-of-the-mill, nothing really special album with a couple of good tracks. Production on his vocals weren't great, but they didn't really grate me either. Ha 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 ha. More funny. And there were the odd dud here and there. And like one or two terrible songs. But yeah. Bit of a meh album, but like it's pretty good. 6.2 out of 10. Next up is Kenny Mason, another one. I didn't mention that Noel Gallagher one. I just didn't see it for God knows why. Because I know fans of them. Next up, another one I didn't mention, Kenny Mason with 6. Yeah, another one called 6. I know. I presume it also dropped on that Tuesday, the 6th. And so it did. But yeah, this one was actually good though, with perfect production throughout, genuinely. Not really a fan of the auto-tune vocals in a lot of the songs, but they're intentional and also don't sound as bad as other cases of it. And as I said, production was outstanding, the beats incredible. But what was the weird rock thing at the end? I mean, I think it kind of worked, but like, I probably won't think that in about 10 years, because I'll just find it corny as shit. But a nice album that shows the potential and amazing beat selection to an extent. And Project Pat's Future is probably one of the best I've heard this year. He went off. That was fire. But yeah, brilliant album. Brilliant. 8 out of 10. But at the top, come on, it's the Foos. It's Foo Fighters with Bohemian. Of course it is. It's an absolutely beautiful album about coming to terms with death. Obviously, Dave has suffered a lot of loss, and this feels like a very brave statement, especially considering he played drums after, Taylor Hawkins died, rest in peace. And it was described by fantastic vocals and immaculate production, and shows how much music can be used as a coping mechanism, which I think was partially sort of the moral of the album, including like the sort of concept, obviously, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I mean, technically the odd song I thought was a bit and some of the ways of description in especially Rest were just a bit weird, but like I'm not really gonna judge that much because it's clearly a band of mourning, and he's mourning, not mourning. And obviously this is just how he feels he wants to word it, and fair enough, power to you, you go. But like, to me, it just sounded weird to me, but like, it's subjective. People will absolutely love it, and I do love how sort of introspective he does get. It is beautiful. But yeah, the odd song felt a bit and some of the lyricism, to me anyway, was just a bit too weird, but like, yeah. As I said, don't want to judge too much, but for obvious reasons. But yeah, absolutely beautiful album, 8.7 out of 10, wonderful. But yeah. That was sad, but you know what isn't sad? The fact that I'm listening to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? No, 7, 8. I'm only listening to 8, I think. Let me just double check a few things. Yeah, I am listening to 8. I mean, I'm listening to 6, I've already listened to 2 of them, but shout out the one I'm not listening to. Rob49, For God 2, you know what I think about things like this. I only listen to them if I've heard the first one, or they're by a massive artist. And Rob49 isn't a massive artist, and I'll take any excuse to get out of listening to one of his albums. This features Birdman, Roddy Ricch, YTB Fat, Ice Wave, Vezo, G Herbo, DaBaby, Trippie Redd and No Cap. 70 songs, 42 minutes long. It's probably going to be mid as fuck, because Rob49 is mid as fuck, and If I have an excuse to get out of listening to one of his albums, I'll bloody use it. But yeah, let's get on with this then. Let's start off with Static Selector's Round Trip, which pretty much features every lyrical rapper that people under the age of 10 and over the age of 40 listen to. It features Posdnuos, Ransom, AZ, Benny the Butcher, Terminology, Stove God Cooks, Simba, Nina Sky, Inspector Deck, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, Method Man. Jesus Christ, that is a stacked song. Raekwon, Method Man. The amount of fucking Wu-Tang in that. Call Me the Machine, Bun B, Absol. Damn. This is fucking... Jesus, this is fucking stacked. As well as Joey Badass, Millies, MOP, Cormega, LZ, Boldy James, who we'll also get to later, Nems, The God Fahim, Marco Plus, Coated the Friend, Russ, Ruben Vincent, Rome Streets, Luca, Red Veil is on this shit. What? I didn't even notice that. G-Eazy, ID fucking K, Logic, Terminology again, Rex, JFK, Easy Money, and Harley Hall. You got Logic, IDK, Red Veil, Conway, fucking Benny. You got fucking everyone on this. These go one of two ways. They turn out amazing or they turn out terrible. But this, I'm going to say it's going to be an 8. I don't give out 9s as much. Otherwise, like earlier in the year, I would probably guess a 9 for this one. It's probably going to be around the high 8 range. Baldy James I've already listened to, also featured on that, I know. He has a collab album with Chan Hayes. Is it really an album? It's 7 songs and 21 minutes long. It's not really an album, is it? It's more of an EP. But it's an album on Spotify, so yeah. I've already listened to it. It's pretty standard, if you know this sort of style. Moving on to Janelle Monáe, who doesn't really have a sort of standard style. She just be pushing boundaries all the fucking time. The Age of Pleasure, which features Sean Kuti and Egypt 80, Doechii, Grace Jones, Nia Long, Amaarae, who we'll also get to next, Sister Nancy, Sean Kuti and Egypt 80 again, this time was CK. And that's it. 14 songs, 32 minutes long. I hope this isn't like a sort of flop album, but like, if anything is going to be, I feel like it would be this. But at the same time, that some of the features there have convinced me it won't be. I will say an 8, because it's fucking Janelle Monáe, she don't miss. Next up is Meta with When I Hear Your Name, featuring James Fauntleroy, Ambre, Lucky Day, Ty Dolla $ign, and Free Nationals. 13 songs, 40 minutes long. I'll say 7. But that's a very uneducated guess. Next up is Amaarae, who was featured on the fucking Janelle Monáe. Ooh, that rhymes. With Fountain Baby. No features, 14 songs, 39 minutes long. 7. Next up, Christine and the Queens with Paranoia, Angels and True Love, featuring Madonna, Mike Dean, Madonna again, 070 Shake, and 2 songs in a row. Madonna again, 3 Madonna features, 20 songs, 1 hour and 36 minutes long. God help me. That'll be bloated as shit. 5. Next up, Kura. 11,000 monthly listeners, one of my most obscure yet. But Born Seditionary. Produced by Pierre Bourne, featuring Shavo. And that's it. 14 songs, 31 minutes long. 3. And the other one that I've listened to is Niall Horan with The Show. 10 songs, 30 minutes long. And it's a One Direction solo album. So it's pretty much like every other one. Mid. So yeah, that's alright, I guess. It's probably one of the hardest to get through in a while. And I've also got all this shit going on, but like I'll manage it. That Christina the Queen's going to take a lot out of me though. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and all that. And in a bit. Also, apparently, quick thing, Lil Uzi Vert has said Pink Tape will release at the end of the month, and obviously there's rumours for Utopia, so this could be stocked towards the end. Although chances are Lil Uzi Vert is capping, so yeah.
One more album actually. King Cruel dropped a 15-song, 44-minute album called Space Heavy. It's gonna be around 7, I think. It's got a song called Seaforth. I live there. In a bit.